Welcome to SAM Conversation, a program of South Asia Monitor. Our subject today is dealing with the United States after Operation Sindoor. It is our pleasure to welcome Maj Gen Rajan Kochhar, retired. Doesn't need much of an introduction. He is a strategic analyst who is involved with a number of think tanks. The Operation Sindoor was launched in the night of 7th and was carried on for 88 hours. And within the first 23 minutes, we had destroyed 9 of their terrorist hideouts or headquarters. And thereafter, when they attacked some of our civilian locations, they got, we countered that also. But the next step we took, neutralized, first reported 11 and then reported as many as 18. Whatever it is, it was a rude shock to the United States, to Mr. Trump in particular, and to the United States. He may have repeated about 40 times or more that he was the one responsible for, causing the ceasefire of Operation Sindoor, which was not so, and it was conveyed to him. Thereafter, he has worked hard at ruining a relationship which had been built over a couple of decades. And we know that countries like the United States, they still suffer very much from a colonial hangover. Colonizing any country by physically occupying it is one way, but after the Second World War onwards, 1945 onwards, the United States has tried to colonize almost the entire world, and its terms of friendship are that you should be a few notches below. Without going further, there's so much that can be said for this. But Gen Kochhar, I invite your views on what all has happened and what all be more important, what we need to do.
Thank you very much, sir, for inviting me over to this wonderful conversation, SAM conversations. And I think the whole nation is concerned today because US-India relations were taking a very firm trajectory. And nobody, I think, not even in the Ministry of External Affairs, people would have thought that such a setback will happen with Indo-US relations. And especially when we see this post-Sindoor period, it's a very, very crucial period, last 5 months, I would say that. And in the last 5 months, what has happened, a few fault lines, if I can just bring out, before going into the details of the reasons and what actions can be taken by India now to bring this relationship back on track. First and foremost was, if you would be aware that the statements being made by President Trump on the ceasefire of India and Pakistan. This context is very important when we talk about relationships, because relationships are based on strong personalities today. And we have President Trump as a very strong personality. We have Prime Minister Modi also as a very strong personality. So what we saw was a clash of personalities because Trump has repeatedly been making statements, I think more than 40 times. He has reiterated that he was the one who was responsible for ending this India Pakistan war. And we have been denying this. And then after this process started, like I would say, uh, like a pack of cards, falling down. Tariffs was the next major decision by the United States, 25% tariffs on India, and then followed by the Russian oil imbroglio, putting 25% more tariffs. Then it was followed by the H-1B visa, and it has, you are aware that 71% of the Indians uh, in the whole H-1B visa, it is 71% Indians which are affected there. Almost 3 lakhs of students. Then we had this Chabahar port sanctions being thrust on us. You would be aware that we have a 10-year operational contract with Iran on the Shahid Bahesti terminal.
Hmm.
$120 million invested by the India Port Global Limited with $250 million debt financing. So that was a major setback for India, I would say that. And why I say it is a setback is because it directly connects the international north-south transport corridor and a pathway to the Central Asian Republic as well as Russia as well as Afghanistan. And then we have finally what we are seeing is there has been a perceptible outreach by the United States towards Pakistan. And uh, this has caused, I think, uh, strategic anxiety in New Delhi. And especially in the aftermath of the Pakistan Saudi Arabia deal, also, which I believe has been orchestrated by the United States itself. So we have seen these things happening, and then uh, one noticeable feature has been that if you observed, sir, that Trump does not talk anything about the Indo-Pacific region. He does not talk about Quad anymore. He does not talk about the Indo-Pacific economic framework. So there has been a perceptible shift in the foreign policy of the United States, focusing more on Middle East and South Asia, and less focus now with the Chinese threat. As I see, Trump is now visiting China, and there is going to be some kind of overtures with China, some kind of bending of fences with China. So these are the turmoils in the relationships now. And I would sum it up to say that uh, Indo-US relations are built on a strong strategic framework. We have the COMCOSA, we have the BECA, we have the compact, we have the trust, which in February 2025, when the Prime Minister Modi went to United States, they came up with this instead of compact agreement in the Biden administration. They came up with transforming relationships utilizing strategic technology. So the areas which are of concern to India are technology, and defense deals, secure supply chains with the United States. So these are two, three important aspects where I feel that this kind of an impact on the trade aspects, on the personality aspects, on the other aspects, should not cast a shadow on these things. We need to de-hyphenate these two things because
Um,
this relationship has to be built up, and if it has to be repaired, because there is a lot of mistrust now among the Indians, especially the Indian administration, that how far can we go with the United States? So there is a rethinking on right now, and we may, in times to come, have a lesser dependence on the United States. But as of now, it seems that India is inclined to repair the damage because no strong statements have emanated from India anti-US, because India values this partnership, values this friendship,
um,
and there is much at stake. We will discuss this as we go along, sir.
but, thank you, General Kochhar, but right from the beginning, um, you said it, you very correctly brought on this again, it's a clash of personalities. But in that clash, it is Trump who's been talking utter nonsense, whereas Mr. Narendra Modi has been very. He said nothing untoward at all. He's not said much. He's done. Of course, there's no doubt about what he's done. And I think the first sign that we got was when Mr. Piyush, the first round that he had, he was very clear about what that we are not going to be taken for a ride
So
in
it's
the
like this. Yeah.
in the no we because we cannot. You see, I think what has happened is something which is sort of waiting to happen. You can't continue a relationship where we've grown as a nation, and we've grown with our own. We whatever we produced at a with lots of sanctions around us, lots of so and I think the Operation Sindoor, even to you and I, who used to keep egging the government को ये ऐसे करना चाहिए वैसे करना चाहिए it was a great surprise, pleasant surprise to us uh, on what we have achieved over the last 10 years. The way this operation was carried out, this phase from 7th to almost 11th, 88 hours, with no boots on the ground, and very substantial damage done, which of course was a rude shock. It's a great surprise to many countries, but it was a rude shock to the United States. And you can't start, just piling on to us just because we did what we did to maintain our own integrity. So no, well, I'm sure, and um, there's a lot that has happened in the United States amongst the Mr. Trump's home constituency, so to speak. He had 800 generals who greeted him with nothing but silence. So that's a very
I know that.
significant reaction.
So we have to actually see things from the Indian perspective now. not
Yes.
from Trump's perspective, because Trump is what he's trying to do is he is trying to put pressure on India on various fronts in order to get a good trade deal, because ultimately you have to see that he's a businessman. He wants to make America great again. We are aware that he is following that, and if you have followed his uh, election manifesto, he
Hmm.
was very, very clear that what he wants to do. And if you analyze things and not take it from an anti-Indian perspective, you will find that he is doing exactly that. And not only with India, he is doing that with other countries also. Why we are feeling is because of, uh, like example, I'll give you Chabar port. Chabar port is his policy of maximum pressure on Iran. Unfortunately, it is also impacting India. But the main focus of that sanctions is to weaken Iran. India will not get so much affected by that, uh, except that India will have to look for better options, because this Indian Middle East economic corridor was one important aspect which US and India were planning to uh, build up, and I think there will be setbacks on that. Now, from the Indian point of view, why is Trump doing that? Because I'm trying to analyze the things from an Indian point of view, that we have so far not retaliated against America. We have so far kept our mouth shut. We have not made any statements which will rile America, because we still feel there is a possibility, or there is space right now to mend the fences. And my hunch is, just wait for 1 year, sir. Both India and the US relations will be back on track, because this is a pressure tactics being imposed by Trump to see that who will blink first. Because if you see all these measures which Trump has undertaken, including H-1B, it is going to impact the Americans more than the Indians. And I've been speaking to a lot of economists also, who have been telling me with you assessed facts that America is going to suffer, because the entire technology programs which the Americans have, there is Indian technocrats who are part of it. And if he's going to stop them from coming to America and all those things, it is going to impact America. Secondly, even on the trade front, if 50% tariffs are imposed, uh, India will find secondary markets. India has already started on that. Minister Piyush Goyal has already started on that in finding alternative markets to America. And once these alternative markets have been found, then America will get isolated once again, because America will find it difficult to go to China. See, in case you stop garment industry, gems and jewelry,
Hmm.
pharmaceuticals, what are the alternatives available for America? Because for America to start producing this within its own country, the industries will have to be established. It will take years. So Trump has got very, very limited time. He has got only 3.5 years. So he wants to do a maximum kind of things in 3.5 years. So I personally think, and this is my assessment, that whatever measures Trump has undertaken, he'll have to roll them back. And it has happened before also with Trump. Uh, for example, China. From 300%, he has come down to 30% now. China has got only 30% tariffs because he knows that the rare earth, the entire electronics, electric vehicle industry is going to be stalled in case he antagonizes China. So that is why he is going to China now. He is going to mend fences with China. And he knows that he can't take panga with China at all. With India, he is taking the chance because he thinks that he may be able to get away with it because the Indian ideology and the Chinese
No,
ideology are
but
absolutely
India, you're right, but India is giving it to him. We're also, we've not taken all this lying down. We
absolutely
haven't taken any
absolutely.
big pangas, but we are, I think, holding our own to quite an extent.
We are silently doing it, sir. We are not verbose. We are not.
No, no, certainly not. But we are in practice. We are doing, I think, what is best for our country. And
Absolutely.
we with that we I think we and I hope we can continue doing that. We don't buckle. We must not buckle under this chap because he's he is he's not normal.
No,
He's
he's
not
not normal,
normal.
sir. And my rebuilding strategy is built on three pillars, sir. I would recommend. The first pillar is decouple. Decouple means that
Yeah,
take
decouple. Okay, yes.
take the tariff issue separately and
Hmm.
the strategic agreements issue separately because strategic uh, agreements involves our JE 404 jet engines, 414 jet engines, the
Yes.
Predator drones, the is uh, is Scoopy 81 surveillance aircrafts and Javelin missiles, Striker combat vehicles. So there is a vast area where we are invested with the US in technology, and so decoupling means that we take these two issues separately and we don't mix them. Let the strategic agreements continue the way they are, and we need to expedite them. The second part of the strategy or the pillar is stabilize. Stabilize means there is a requirement to create some kind of a task force which can continue with the trade agreements, continue negotiating for the tariffs. Somewhere we may even agree for a concession on our part, which will benefit America. We may agree for some of those things, and some of those things America has to agree. Especially on the agricultural products. So, because you see, agriculture is a red line for us. We will not accept what the America is trying to tell us. So,
They want to pile
stabilization.
us with genetically modified,
Yes, yes,
uh, which is which we must not, under any circumstances, allow to happen.
yes. The stabilization is the second part of the strategy, and the third pillar is institutionalize. What mistakes we have actually done is that whatever trade agreements we have gone into with the United States, they have not been legalized. Why I actually say is that we must have a legal binding agreements with the United States in the near future. Whenever we are concluding any agreement with them on the defense and the industrial accords. And why it will be this is because these political swings will keep on taking place. But if these agreements have a legal binding, then I think this relationship will survive. Because right now, what Trump is trying to leverage, he is trying to use Pakistan as a pivot against India. He is trying to show to India that I will make you more vulnerable by strengthening Pakistan. It's very apparent, sir. The
Yes.
Nobel Peace Prize, everything is very apparent, and his intentions are absolutely, I mean, they're not hidden, and he has not tried to hide them also. Because time and again, he is provoking India by making a statement that 6 to 7 jets were downed by Pakistan, things like that. He's trying to tell the world that India is a dead economy. You remember he
Yes.
has made this statement.
He's made that. He's made that. Uh, it hasn't gone well with his own
Yes.
at home also.
So you
Because
see this pressure he is trying to build from Pakistan side, and Pakistan and China have a very, very smart understanding.
no, but
They
that
are
hasn't that understanding got slightly affected after.
no, no, sir, I don't think so because you apparently I think some of the media channels, some interviews are giving us this impression. But my assessment is that it's a very, very strong relationship, and Pakistan will not cross the red line. Chinese have told them that your red line with America is this. You will not cross this red line, and I think Pakistan is going to maintain that because
Yes,
Pakistan also knows America is only a
but
fair weather friend.
Pakistan is in a very tight spot because Pakistan also has been a loyal puppy dog of the US right since its birth. Once the partition was effected, the British they were there. They played their role for the first few years. They're the ones were playing the referee, not the
Absolutely.
very fair referee
Yeah.
in 47, 48.
See, I'll just
Um,
take you back, sir, 2, 3 years back when Imran Khan was the prime minister. You saw
no,
how the relationship got bad. So, Pakistan, USA will use and throw Pakistan. Today, USA needs Pakistan to exert influence on Iran, to
yes,
exert influence on Afghanistan, and to exert influence on India, and in turn also exert influence on Russia through Afghanistan. He is using Pakistan, and that Bagram Air Base incident also I would like to highlight here. Why United States was all of a sudden very, very keen in getting that airbase. And in case America is not going to get the airbase, sir, please don't be surprised if Pakistan gives a base to America within Pakistan.
that may well be. And anyway, we'll see. But unfortunately, now we're a little strapped for time. Uh, but thank you very much, Jal Kocha, for some very important and significant points brought out. And we we'll watch and we'll have, I think, a lot to say as in the weeks to come. Thank you very
Absolutely.
much.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a pleasure to be on your show. Jai Hind, sir.
Yeah.